Practical ways.
You're the future step.
Okay.
They want to go for you.
Conflicts. We've never had any conflict. I would say that number one solution to every problem in marriage is humility.
Right.
You know, both the husband and the wife must be humble enough to say sorry.
Okay.
And that solves most of the problems.
Mhm.
And as a man, must also be willing to say sorry even when you're not wrong. Because most times in the conflicts, the man will not be wrong. The man must be willing to say sorry.
Yeah.
So I think that sorry is the biggest conflict resolution in marriage. You humble enough to say I'm sorry, and the wife humble enough to say I'm sorry,
Yeah.
and that settles everything.
I think talking it out. Like a lot of times, like I said earlier, a lot of times it's a misunderstanding. Many times it's just communication differences, and especially with me and my husband, where the culture difference sometimes creates a little bit of a miscommunication. And so, like for example, pants means pants, jeans, denims, trousers means pants. So in America, so there's like that, even those small little teeny things that you could say, oh, I didn't know that's what you meant, or I didn't understand that's what you meant, and just being able to sit down with minimal emotions, minimal all that stuff, and just be able to explain, like, okay, this is what I meant, this is what you meant. That I think is a very big deal when it comes to conflict resolution.
No,
Powerful.
thank you.
Let's go to the next issue.
Yes, this is really cool.
I think that for me, it's true that you have to be quick to apologize, but you also have to be even quicker to forgive. So it's very important to have that balance, because it's one thing to apologize, but if the other person doesn't forgive, there's no resolution to the conflict. So it has to go both ways, right? Each one must be, quick to respond to it. And when you are that way, when you humble yourself in that way, then it provides an avenue for understanding, because most arguments start out of a misunderstanding. It's not really the thing, it's a misunderstanding. And if you don't deal with that misunderstanding, then you end up fighting little fires that weren't the fire to be dealt with. So
No, right. And I would also say, give each other an out, like give each other the benefit of the doubt. When something happens, it's so easy to say, like, why did you do that to me? And, instead of saying, I know you didn't mean this, but the way you said that came across like this. And just speaking from that, like sort of creating and giving each other an out. Like, I know this wasn't what you were trying to, you didn't intend this. I would say that's an important approach, like how you handle conflict. If you're communicating, sort of giving the other party the benefit of the doubt that they weren't just out to bash you or to say something hurtful to you, but it didn't come across that way. So you understand that you have two people. A lot of the times, men and women, we don't see things the same way. If you're looking at even like when we look at a coin, I'm looking at it from this side, you're looking from this side. So communication is going to be important. But saying, I understand, like I know that you from your standpoint it might not look like this, and I know you didn't mean it. I think that it also helps disarm any conflict, to give each other the benefit of the doubt.
Well, you all have said it all. Just to add a little, always remembering that you both are in a marriage to make it work. And a lot of times the misunderstanding is just the both parties trying to project that I have the best opinion in this working. And this one saying, no, my opinion is better. That's the clash. Just taking a break and taking a deep sigh, remembering that you are in the marriage for one cause, to make it a beautiful journey. The moment you can just remember that one thing, it resolves everything.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Yes, like I'm like, how did he get my points from my head? Like, just know that he means well, and he will never intentionally hurt me. I'm very aware that whatever is happening is just. I told my husband something. I told him that we would never have misunderstanding. I told him, she would have just said we'll never quarrel, we'll never escape. And I go, is it that you feel me? She was like, yeah, that's like, what is happening? But I just told him, and then I got consoled in knowing that we misunderstand to understand. Because when there's a misunderstanding, we grow beyond it. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to repeat this because I know this hurts, until he tells me that, oh, exactly, this is not how it was. Then we now come to a point of, oh, this is how it's supposed to work. The next time we avoid whatever route that led us to that point. Right. And I think we keep growing. And then as you grow in marriage, realize that we're growing. And the misunderstanding keeps, like, it's not us. Or now we're synchronizing in value. So just like what I wanted to say, he says it. Sometimes I'm thinking and then he just speaks and I'm like, okay, you perfect.
How do you balance serving the ministry and also nurturing your marriage?
Sorry, your Ghanaian has sensed it.
Okay.
Shots fired.
How do you balance serving a ministry whilst nurturing your marriage? Nurturing, yeah.
So I can answer that here. First thing, your marriage is first. That's the foundation that everything is built on. If that goes south, then everything else goes down. So it's God and it's your wife, your children, your family. Because even if things happen in ministry, you come home to your family. They're not going to turn their back on you when the world turns. And ministry has its twists and turns. And you're popular today, then something may happen. But you're always going to have your family. So that's something that is really important, because I know in a lot of ministries they put the ministry before the marriage, and that can never be God. God cares about us individually first. He wants to make sure that our homes and our families are whole first. Because how can we preach wholeness when there isn't wholeness at home? How can we preach whatever it is, discipline and structure? So the way that we balance it is that we go according to priority. So we make sure that our family, we invest in our marriage, invest in our children, and then we together tackle ministry.
If it is for us, marriage is your first ministry.
You said my mind again.
Well, we say
Marriage is
marriage.
that's no, I was thinking Nigerian.
Just say another language.
That's just it. Marriage is the first ministry for me, and that's how I take it. That's how I run with it. My family, I prioritize them. I see it as this is God's ministry. You understand? So it's not my music ministry first. Then so a lot of times what I try to do is at this point in my life, okay, I could remember the early stages of our marriage when the kids weren't introduced yet. We traveled a lot together. We had that luxury of time. We traveled, we did everything together, and I enjoyed every moment. And then when the kids came, oh my God, I just had to change, reroute, bring new strategies on how to make this work. I began to think really deep. It got to the point where no matter how far the place I'm going is, I can't stay beyond 2 days because of family.
Wow.
Because of how much I've placed family. People say you travel a lot, do you rest? Do you have time for your family? But a lot of times I just push through to say that okay, I'm home for my family. And then I'm trying to see how God will also help me. I'm having visions for the future so that the family and the ministry synchronizes so much as one, and no one is suffering. Because when you look at a lot of preachers' kids from way back, you discover that there's deficiency in their spiritual growth, character, and so on and so forth. And we do not want to make such mistakes. So what are we doing intentionally? So seeing marriage as first ministry was a very, very lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I would say I may have a different answer.
Okay.
I always believe that when it comes to marriage and ministry, I personally believe that they shouldn't compete with each other. Like the marriage shouldn't compete with ministry, the ministry shouldn't compete with the marriage. They both feed off each other, and that's for my family. I don't know, but my marriage feeds off my ministry, and my ministry feeds off my marriage, and they are both a blessing to each other. So if you ask me what's up, I don't know what's up. They both feed off each other. I don't know if marriage is my first ministry is my first marriage. For me, I have a great pastor, and one of the greatest advice that he said to me was, no matter what it costs, you take it from there everywhere. And
100%.
yes, and he for over 30 years traveled his wife and 3 kids everywhere they went, across the world, everywhere. And he said, you say it's expensive, but losing your marriage is more expensive.
Right. Okay, don't leave me. Yes, that was true. Wow.
He said, so why not you rather believe God to bring your family on the road with you? And as a matter of fact, like I'm talking about Dr. Rodney.
Yes.
Dr. Rodney wouldn't let a preacher preach if he doesn't come with his wife.
Yes.
Because he said, if I see your wife's face, I will know how your home is.
Right.
The man can pretend, the woman can't. He said, Dr. Rodney said, I look at the wife's face and I thought how their home is. I can tell. I just read it. You can see the wife depressed, they're happy. So it's like he believes like, where's the wife? Like you come preach, I can see your wife. So so he like so you bring your wife, he sees the wife, and he's like, okay, good to go. And so I believe that way is to believe God for the finances to bring my and is. I'm not really like a marriage and my wife's in the ministry. I'm in the ministry. We're both pursuing it. There's no, my wife is not at home, and that's a marriage.
Separate,
and when we travel, that's a ministry.
I agree.
You see, so I don't come home to marriage. The marriage follows me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't go somewhere to ministry. The ministry comes with me home and it goes with me, and it just intertwined. And by the grace of God, it worked. Because also for me, it's like the goal. It's like both of us, we've come together to achieve a goal, which is the ministry. So marriage is chasing a ministry, you see. And then it just pays back, and the ministry pays off. We're blessed. Then I can take care of my wife because the ministry pays off. So they both rope around each other.
They sure do.
They're intertwined.
Very intertwined.
Yes.
I agree with that. So I was actually going to say the same thing because I think what it is people want to separate them to the point where it's marriage and ministry, which I understand. But in our relationship, like you said, our pastors strongly believe in traveling together. They think it's important, they think it's valuable. And I think it's valuable for your marriage as well as your ministry, like both, because they're both intertwined in a way. So, for us, we travel together, and that creates, the ministry is not just my husband's. The ministry is mine as well. The marriage is obviously not just mine or my husband's, it's ours. So it doesn't feel separate. And since we're always together, the adventure doesn't stop and restart. It doesn't pause and then go. When we're at home, we're home together, we're shopping, we're grocery shopping.
Ministry marriage.
We're having ministry. Exactly. They go together. So we've gone all over the world together. Because of ministry.
Yes.
Which we may not have done if I were home the only goods year.
And that made our marriage stronger.
Yes. We had some adventures.
The ministry made our marriage stronger. We did the film together.
It's California. We've been all over the place. But the ministry was maybe what brought us there, but it wasn't the only thing we were doing there. We were still we were still having quality time together. So what you said is exactly what I was going to say. It doesn't necessarily have to be separated to the point where, okay, I'm at home now, I can't think about ministry. Okay, with my wife, I can't think about ministry. My wife is here, I can't preach. My wife, because then that creates like a separation actually, that it makes the family the wives and the ministry the husbands, and then there's no unity really.
And I would say also to like women and ministers' wives, it's like never make the ministry your competition. You see, never compete if your husband has a ministry. That it should never be a competition.
Right. And with this mindset, I don't think it's possible.
No.
With this mindset, it is not possible because you have just created balance to like the question basically. Like all the points we have, like I think it's all all together. But
Yeah.
yes, we're all. But like this particular mindset, I feel like it's just in a clear time, like clear.
Yeah.
I say this way. I say it is never me against you.
Right.
It is me and you against the problem.
Right.
It's not me against you. So that's how we treat the ministry.
Yeah.
So like a minister's wife should never think like, oh, it's me against the ministry. If I have ministry time, where's my time?
Yeah.
My time now have ministry.
Yeah.
What a time. Yes, what a time. But it is always never compete because you see the ministry in competition against the ministry.
Yes.
Right.
Because they're not included in the ministry.
Yes.
That's the best thing. Because
That's
if
what
you're,
I
if
like.
you're not traveling with your partner,
Yes.
you're not growing together. So even the impartation, the lessons learned,
Yeah.
she's not along with you.
Yes.
So you're now like at level, I don't know, 15, and she's at level 2.
Yeah.
And that's where the divide comes.
Yeah.
So
You come back on fire, and she's been sitting cold.
Exactly.
So your
Exactly.
your levels are now different.
Exactly.
So that's, it is important to have both.
And who spoke about that? Like Pastor Jonathan spoke about that too.
Yes.
That when he went to the river, he made sure to bring his wife because then they were sort of shifting. We all came out of Assemblies of God, and then we sort of shifted in the like Holy Ghost fire, you know. And he made sure that his wife was in the meetings too. So it isn't like he's like, what's wrong with you? Why are you all of a sudden preaching prosperity? All of that. So you guys are getting the revelation at the same time, and now you're in one accord. Exactly. So when there's a divide, because we may have some people that are watching who it has been a divide. Maybe the ministry has been the husbands and whatever. Now this is like sort of that challenge out to them to become one and
it
begin
comes
to depend on each other.
It comes from both the husband and the wife side.
Right.
You're gonna say that.
I was gonna say it because the brain is like
It's next to each other.
I say it comes on both sides.
Yeah.
As I said to the minister's wife, never be in competition with the ministry.
Yeah.
On the other side, to the minister, if your wife is in competition with the ministry, then she's not included.
Yeah.
That's just a sign to you that she's not included enough and she doesn't feel included enough,
Yes.
and that's why she's in
That's why there's a
competition. Because if the woman is included in the ministry, then it's not your problem.
No.
It's also her
It's
problem.
our problem.
It's our
Exactly.
problem. Me and
Exactly.
you against the problem.
Yeah,
Me and you
exactly.
trying to grow the church.
Oh.
And the thing, it's like as a minister, it's like you feel a certain way, like you have a superior wisdom, and it's like you don't want the women to interfere and all this stuff. But I can tell you the truth, being a minister of the gospel, crusades across the nations, across different races, I can tell you that a woman has a certain wisdom that you don't have.
Right.
A woman,
I agree.
a woman has a certain wisdom, for the ministry that you don't have, and you must let that wisdom come through, and it changes everything. When I travel Christians, when I traveled, when I started traveling in America, all I did was travel. I go to church, preach and leave. Travel, go to church, preach and leave. When my wife came into the ministry, she brought in the details. I wasn't just a preacher.
Right.
Then she's like, let's make t-shirts.
Yeah.
It's like it's something I would never do.
Right.
She's like, okay, let's add t-shirts to the ministry.
Yeah.
Okay, let's add a book table. You need a table everywhere you go preach. Let's add books on the table.
Yeah.
Let's create a partnership table.
Yeah.
Those are the details. See, the things that I never thought of. I just thought I would preach and go.
Right.
This crusade we've done many times. I never thought of making t-shirts for people because like everyone wears
You look coordinated by the
but she brought up that details.
But that even comes though from him. Like
allowing.
he allowed the
We
creativity.
need to speak on that in terms of being secure enough.
Yes. He allowed the creativity.
Yeah, so really that really getting blessed, and I just wanted to make emphasis on what he said about going out together. Like I've lost my points. It's just similar to what he's saying. Like my husband used to say something. We look up to a particular preacher in Nigeria who goes everywhere with his wife, and then it's
They wear circles.
exactly. Okay.
I told you that.
It just tomorrow. Make my start tomorrow. So we are already yes, Daddy, we love you.
But we're looking up to him and he's changing the culture.
Yes, exactly.
And especially because he's our color, it makes a difference. I know that's the first thing that it makes a difference.
Wow.
I'm sorry, it does. Representation is important.
Yeah.
And so that's like the first thing that I said to him, how you parent, how you treat your wife. As an African man, you're changing the culture,
Yes.
and we're literally the fruits of
Yes.
just from Instagram posts.
Yeah. It's amazing, and it stops all this negativity, all this. Oh, a girl walked into my room naked. Like I'm a preacher, nothing happened. There were cameras, all those things. It controls it. Like this man they were talking about. Be there. You cannot use woman. Like go on now, you won't see it. You've been married for over 30 years, and no one single. We know how no scandal because of this strict principle.
Yeah.
It works.
It's so strict that you won't hear such a thing. So we are learning from the best. That's right. Yeah.
I think it's important to understand what you were saying also, where it's not marriage and ministry, it's marriage and ministry, where you're sharing. I mean, my wife covers my blind spots because there are things that I wouldn't think about, that you didn't think about when going ministry. Where now your wife comes in and she says, no, we should have a table like this, or this is how we reach out. And it's not that it's like, it's someone that is covering the blind spot, the areas that you didn't think about, the things that you didn't see. Because as a man going out ministry, let's say a single man going out ministry, I'm not thinking, oh, we should have t-shirts, we should have a table, we should get partners. I'm like, get in, minister, get out.
Yeah.
Get in, minister, get out. Right? That's what I said. But how then do you build partners? Right? Your partner comes along and says, you know what? It isn't about just getting in and getting out. We got to get in and we got to speak to the people that's there. Give people an opportunity to partner with what we're doing. It's not just getting to sit and get out. So it has to be not only your vision, but our vision. Right? It has to be the ministry must be the marriage's vision. When you're included in that way, to that level, you won't have that fight. You won't have that, I feel like you're always at church. church or you're always on the road ministering. You don't have any of that when you have the one vision. That's right.
Wow.
Okay, so as ministers of the gospel, how do you guys have fun? What are some of the recreational activities you guys do?
The same way we're in person.
What are some of the recreational activities that a Christian couple can think about in terms of fun and excitement in a godly way for your marriage?
I would have started playing FIFA.
FIFA.
Yes, right.
So what do you do, Romain and Violet? Tell us.
And what do we enjoy doing together? We enjoy the beach.
Okay.
We really enjoy the beach. It's like our place that we go to. It's like a go-to spot. Like we've had a stressful week or stressful time. It's like, you know what? We just go to the beach and just kind of just relax. That's our place.
Richard J?
The beach.
We're from Florida too,
We're
so
from Florida.
we go to the
The
beach.
beach. It's
But
a
on the
beach.
other side, we also get nice hotels
Okay, that's
at the top floor. We like the views, so we get like.
It's true, it's the city.
We just took what a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we rented a penthouse.
That-
the
it's
top
Dallas.
floor, and then we took it.
Yeah, that was the God.
Whatever.
Yeah. I would also say that what we enjoy to do is we're big foodies. Like
I was
we
gonna say,
try
I was
new
gonna say,
things.
that's us.
Like it's
That's
a little embarrassing how much we
That's the
take
one.
seriously
Yes.
going somewhere and trying new stuff
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like just ordering it. Like we're just big foodies. So
I was gonna say, especially because we travel.
Yeah.
So whenever we travel somewhere, we look at the best food places.
Make
and
it
go
fun.
there. And that's something we like doing because when you go to we're going to Memphis, we're trying to barbecue. Like,
Right.
We're in Texas, we're trying to barbecue. Like, we're going to places and trying everything, giving our opinions. Like that's what we do.
Something else we do, we also like have an Instagram page, and you know how like on your explore
Oh, yeah,
Instagram
yeah.
shows you like new foods.
Yeah.
So we have a joint saved account. We'll
Yeah.
save the videos
And like
there,
recipes.
and we'll try.
And we're trying to make it.
That's really
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Wow.
How about you guys?
Yeah.
Well, ours is just worship.
my God.
we explore restaurants in Abuja. We're trying to best. We get to explore restaurants. And one thing I've enjoyed doing with her is travel. Like last time we traveled together was really cool. It just brings us out of that home space, and then like we get to do factory reset.
Wow.
Yeah, and then sometimes like to go out, like just go out and just drive.
Yeah.
We don't know where we're going to go. We're just like driving and just stop at some point. Yeah, maybe
Yeah, road trips.
I'm walking. I was going to just put a map. Just put a map and just But I have to confess that when the children came. Because I have 2 children left 2 years, so it's like I was pregnant all through, so I was just been eating and but we are next day asked us this question, we'll answer for now.
I'm working out together. Like I said, like developing.
We go to the gym together.
We were in Bible school together. We did a CNA class, that's a certified nursing assistant course together. So every year we like pick something and like elevate. And even like going on this trip because we're learning from you guys, and that's something that we do but for fun. But it's like every year, what can you add to what you're already doing that will make you like we're teaching we enjoy also educating our kids, and so we're teaching them about flying. So with homeschooling, you can customize the curriculum. So we're literally teaching them about all the different commands and all that, and that's fun to like build your home, like homemaking.
Wow, thank you so much for spending this time with us. We are very excited to have Lisa and Mr. Achanya with my husband, right? And then
Romain and Violet.
Roman and Violet. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being so.
Menorah, thank you.
God bless you. See you next time.